I like how this camera, I'm like yawning, so like that. It's like countdown 3, 2, 1, like bro, live at the Apollo. Okay, so this is gonna be some bullshit. No, I'm kidding. This is gonna be a video about a poetry collection that I just read. It's the chapbook collection, but it's Haunt Me by Jose Enrique Medina. So I actually got this from Rattle. So I applied for something with Rattle. And one of the things, y'all are gonna see my medicine and all my shit. One of the things, okay, this one's open so I can drink from it. You get when you do your thing, like your submission is you get, I guess, like an issue. And this happened to also be with the issue. So I got, okay, I was like, where the book at? So I got this, and I think I mentioned this in the last video. I got this, and then I got this together. So I haven't made my way through this just yet. I kind of started, but like, not really. But I did read this, which is a chapbook, and they had a contest. And so this is, yeah, like this is a chapbook that came with it. So I'm going to read the back and go from there. So Jose Enrique Medina earned his BA in English from Cornell University. He writes poems, flash fiction, and short stories. His work has appeared in Best Microfiction 2019 anthology, the Los Angeles Review, Rattle, and many other publications. He is a Voice of Our Nation Fellow and the founder of the Chickens and Poetry Writer residency for writers. When he's not wrangling words, he's usually on his ranch in Los Angeles chasing after bunnies and baby chicks. And so, yeah, so Haunt Me is like a chapbook. It is from, like I said, Rattle. And I think he is the winner of it, so he got the publishing. I'll just double check in the back. Yeah, so the Rattle chapbook series publishes and distributes a chapbook to all of Rattle's print subscribers along with each quarterly issue of the magazine, and most selections are made through the annual Rattle chapbook prize competition deadline January 15th. And then for more information to order the chapbooks, you go to their website. And so this is a list of people. He is one of them listed for 2025. So it looks like they take at least 2 people, if not more, per year. It looks like earlier years it was like 3 or more. So yeah, there's that. So just this is gonna be a mini like review. I found this kind of like touching. I felt like, so if you are kind of in the process of grieving and dealing with memory and a little bit of heritage, but like more like memories, and grief, for people not being there, like literally not there because they've died. I think this would be a really nice book to pick up. I think that it does touch on the more, I think the stages of grief, so to speak, sometimes. I think towards the latter ends of like acceptance and stuff like that, but there still is a tinge of like, you know, like wishing they were here and things like that. So we start off with Niños de la Tierra. And so this one is about essentially, you know, when like parents and adults try to scare you by saying if you do something bad, like some sort of animal or bad person is going to show up and like fuck your life up essentially as a kid, you know, but they're not, you know, they're not saying like fuck your life up, but they're saying like bad kids get eaten by this monster, and it's just like, oh my god, like the monster. And so it starts out kind of like this, like childhood kind of things, and then it goes through like different, essentially these are all, I feel like, ghost memories of people that are haunting, less than like actual actions, just like the memories of what you can't get back, the memories of what you remember, the idea that you're losing people, you're losing the memories of the people sometimes, and to revisit the grief is almost to kind of like picture them again in a way. Is kind of sentiments that I feel like are kind of snuck into this book. I want to figure out where it is. So I'll read you like some. Like one of these, like this is a moving point. When mother doesn't visit me, I worry. Okay, so what if my mom isn't where they buried her? What if somebody stole her cadaver and right now is holding up a liquor store with her jawbone? Hand over the cash or I'll whack you to hell. What if they're dismantling her skeleton and selling the bones as used car parts in a junkyard? What if she's being held hostage in a golden cage and force-fed only melon triangles? What if she eloped, driving to Los Angeles in a convertible, death riding shotgun, death who'd make a terrible stepdad? What if she hit her head, lost her key to heaven, and is wandering in the Mojave Desert, unable to find her way home? And I think that touches on like some of the issues of like, where do people go when they die? And then like, what if, like, especially if you believe certain things, like what if they didn't go to heaven? What if they ain't making it? It's like, she ain't make it. She ain't make it. But like, kind of where don't go. And like, again, like the titling, when it doesn't visit me, I worry, like, what all these things, you know? I definitely related to this collection a lot. Just thinking about people who have passed, because like it's good, like the numbers increasing now. Like, oh my god, now I'm in our 30s. It's like everybody trying to exit stage left. Like, girl, don't rush for the door all at once. Like, you know. So where's the other one? I feel like, is it that? Oh my god. Okay. So it's also about mother. My mother is buried in the largest cemetery in North America. Where did I leave her grave? Dazed, I lean against a tree to steady the sway. I don't drink, but I feel drunk with goodbye. I say I'm hungover, but mean burp, like burp. Who poured this grief so strong? Sleep starved, I stumble, can't walk right, like my mother crushed under 2 tons of earth, mud mixed with what? Patron? Don Julio? What was her favorite tequila? I can't pretend I've never swallowed oblivion like a shot poured on a tomb carved with her name. Is that her voice? My mother. Is she everybody's mother? Is there more than one woman in the world? Do we reel together and share loss or die alone, hungover with grief? I take a step, trip. I am so fucked that I can't even find her grave. I clench my fists, shout, Ay, Jalisco, no te rajes. This man is going to be off. What Mexican drunks scream when they throw one back? Yesterday burns going down my throat, like swallowing her small eyes, like devouring the past. Wait, I'm falling. Let me grab this branch, find my footing. It's so dark. I swear I left my mother here, somewhere in this tangle of trees. And I think when you think about like this, almost like more destructive being of grief, I think it's captured pretty well here. And I think just, I don't know, it's kind of like, it's hard to it's like grieving someone and grieving stuff is hard to describe, because it's like, until you go through it, I don't think you have an ounce of like what's going on. And so it's interesting to read this as someone who's grieving something, who has grieved something, is pretty much out of it, but still has those moments where I think for Haunt Me, I would have liked, because I'm assuming Jose Enrique Medina could write completely in Spanish. I think I would have liked side by side, like So it's kind of funny. So I just finished reading partly in one of my classes, The Vegetarian, which is a originally Korean language novel that was translated into English and other languages around the world. I think I would have liked the Spanish. I think I just would have liked the Spanish and English together. I feel like there may be sentiments in Spanish that, of course, don't transliterate completely over. They don't translate completely over. But I think I would have liked, rather than the Spanish dispersed just throughout it, to be completely written in it. And yeah, I think I would have liked that a little bit. I do think that because it's a chapbook, it doesn't need to go into too much detail about death and grief and stuff like that. I did feel that I enjoyed the fact that this person was willing to kind of essentially talk about grief in a way where people are haunting you, the memories are haunting you, you're reconciling. I think when people die, especially if you had certain relationships with them that may not have been the best, or may have had like little snags and hiccups, that like when you're going through that process of grief, that you can kind of like chuck those experiences come up too and you're processing them. And I feel like this is a real good representation of grief. But like I said, I think the second half of that grief cycle of understanding that they're gone, but still having those moments where they're there, and then also being able to process without fully like losing your shit about some of the things that may have been less pleasant about the relationships that you had. Because there are some things where like some things are like in here and I'm like, okay, so 3 ghosts is one of the harder like memories, and I'm assuming these are all based on actual memories and thoughts, not necessarily like fictionalized retellings. So like this is 3 ghosts. I'm going to read the second section to tell you what I mean. A pro boxer, Tia Altura, punched Mom's face, slammed her head against the concrete wall. No salgas con hombres, he said, though she was separated from my father. She didn't speak to him for decades. Then he got prostate cancer. Quiet, respectful. She stepped into the hospital reading room. Tio's wife squeezed her hand. Gracias por venir. Weeks later, I walked dazed beneath leafless trees, unable to row the ocean of her forgiveness, thinking her blood-sealed eye, thinking that pities made my mother crazy, right? And so this idea of confronting those darker memories of people who have been in your life is something that I think we don't talk about a lot in grief. And I'm glad that they, I'm assuming he, based on, yeah, okay, so he writes, I like that this perspective is written about, because I think a lot of the grief that we talk about is like, it's weighing me down, and I had like just the memories of them, they just give me pause all the time. And like there's some people, and I think that you're really in your healing process when you can kind of start to see the more it's almost like you come to terms with the 360 reality of dealing with someone, and how their death doesn't make the experiences less sometimes like hard to deal with. Like some people's relationships with others are not so great, and even in death you have to process kind of like these shitty ass relationships, you know? And so I like that Haunt Me doesn't just touch on like death and I'm grieving, and everywhere I look everybody is there and I can always see their faces and I'll never forget you and everything. It's like dealing with those harder aspects of grief, remembering like sometimes like, man, you were a shitty ass person, like you did some things that like low key, like homie, like what's wrong with you, homegirl, what's wrong with you? I like that it felt more like a real trajectory of grief than the ones that we may have come to know. I think For me, like I said, I wish I had a lot more of just like maybe just pure Spanish, like poetry. I don't think I would mind that. Like pure Spanish. I translate shit all the time. Pure Spanish, I think maybe more about, and this would probably go in a different direction, but like, you know, their own sort of death that has happened. I think a little bit comes up with that, but maybe their own death that has happened with the death of these people, death of like identity, not identity, but like death of it's so hard to say, death of like I just had it. I just had it. Like, I just had it. I don't know. I can't, like, I literally just had it and I forgot it. So, yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up because I forgot it. If I remember it, I'll try and put it in the, like, notes or whatever. But I'm not gonna struggle for the next 10 minutes of trying to figure out what I was trying to say. It was there and it left. It is what it is. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.